This is why it's so rare to get a 5-star for me, because I feel like even my 4 stars, I'm like, no, it could have been lower. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. Today I just want to talk about some books that I feel like I rated too high, and some of them are like books I give 3 stars. So I feel like they should have been like even less than that. And I just feel like, it's interesting because I feel like over time your opinions can change, obviously, on any book that you read. So if you have read any of these books and you feel like you rated them too high or too low, and you feel like they deserve more love or less love, feel free to disagree with me or not. But let's just start off with a bang. So basically, these are all books that I think are either like overhyped, or I think that they aren't as good as I thought they were when I first rated them, or whatever. So the first one, we're just going to come out swinging, is The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern, which is a lot of people's favorite book. And I wanted it to be my favorite book. I really did. I really wanted to love Aaron Morgenstern's writing. And seeing people talk about how like she kind of has this writing style that's so flowery and it doesn't follow conventional methods, I get why people like her. I guess I'm a person who prefers like I just don't think her book made sense. I mean, I think The Night Circus made a lot more sense than The Starless Sea, which I would probably also say The Starless Sea over, I don't know. I mean, I gave it 3 stars, but I feel like it's more like a 2-star for me. Especially because I feel like a certain mystery is introduced in that book that has no answer to it. And it drove me crazy. Like, finishing that book I felt like there was no resolution to a certain thing that I'm happy to go into if you want. Just make sure we mention spoilers down in the comments. The next book is one that I also gave 3 stars to, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. And I just feel like it ended right when it got good. I feel like I wanted to see what happened next. And I know there's a sequel out now, but I just don't really care enough because I feel like the writing in it and everything wasn't as good as everyone said. Again, I gave it a 3, probably more like a 2-star. Okay, the next 2 are the same author, and I definitely rated them too high because I gave them both a 5-star rating. That is Verity and It Ends With Us. Well, actually, Verity, I'm gonna stand by a 5-star because for me, it had me gagged and gooped. So forget Verity. Let's just talk about It Ends With Us, because It Ends With Us is such a complicated book in the sense of I feel like I understand why people hate it and I understand why people enjoy it. Like, knowing that certain people in the world have read that book and it has led them to specifically leave toxic relationships, I feel means it has its value in the world. But I also understand why people hate it because they feel like a certain character in the book does not get justice and the punishment is not properly given for the crime. So I understand both sides of it, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is worth the 5. I don't know. But Colleen Hoover's writing is not 5-star writing. Like, it's not good writing. So I definitely don't think that I don't think it's more. I don't think a 5-star. I should have given it like maybe a 4-star. But I had like this weird emotional gut reaction to it that I just gave it a 5. And I moved on with my life. The next one is To Kill a Kingdom, which is it's odd. It's like the opposite of It Ends With Us, where I gave it 5 stars because it was so objectively good. I thought it's clear that the author, like, I remember reading that she had taken like creative writing class, and I feel like the way it was written was so perfect. It was so well written and so developed in such a perfect way. The pace was perfect, but I don't remember either character's name and I don't remember anything about the book. So it was like a writing craft that was perfect, but it had so little heart in it, I feel like. And it's just it's weird that those are like kind of 2 sides of the same coin, I feel like. And I even unhauled To Kill a Kingdom. And I never owned It Ends With Us. I only listened to the audio. But yeah, I unhauled To Kill a Kingdom. Next up, and this one, I just posted my Vampire Academy vlog, which I stand by everything I said in that vlog. But this one right here, Last Sacrifice, I gave 4 stars, and it should have been a 3-star because I was so tired by the end of this and I still enjoyed it. I still really liked certain aspects of this as a conclusion, but it was just, yeah, I mean, the whole I gave every other book 4 stars, and I just gave this 4 stars because I felt like, I don't know. But this series is so much fun. I still recommend the series. I still think the series is great. I still think, especially if you like paranormal romance kind of things, like definitely read this series. If you somehow missed it, I just read it last year. But this is a good time. It's still a good time. I just think that it wasn't as good of a time for me as books 1 through 5. And I should have given it a 3, but I felt some weird pressure to rate it higher. I don't know. And next we have Coraline by Neil Gaiman, which I think I have a video review for, so I'll link that. But this one, I think I gave it 4 stars or 3 stars or whatever, but it's probably a 2 star because I don't like Neil Gaiman's writing, which is so funny. It's weird to me because one of my all-time favorite movies is Stardust, and one of my all-time favorite shows that came out this year was The Sandman. So maybe I just need to stick to watching Gaiman on screen because maybe I like him as a screenwriter better because I'm pretty sure he was involved in those projects, or maybe I just think that like his ideas are executed better by people who are in charge of film and TV. I don't know. And I kind of want to watch, maybe that's what I'm going to do, because I'm just, something about his writing is not, because I've now read 3 of his books. I've read The Ocean at the End of the Lane, Coraline, and The Graveyard Book, and I gave all 3 of them 3 stars. So let me know what your experience with Gaiman has been, because I'm just really curious if it's just a me thing. But like, I love, yeah, I don't know, I kind of want to read Good Omens, but I also want to watch the show, so I don't know. But I'm worried that if I like read the book and I don't enjoy it, then I will be less encouraged to watch the show. But I never read any of the Sandman comics, and I love the Sandman show, so that's a whole rant. Okay, next I have Akata Witch, which I think I gave 3 stars, or maybe I gave it 4 stars. I think I gave it like 3.5, and I rounded it up to 4 on Goodreads, but I just don't think that for me it was like, I wanted to like it, but it just wasn't giving what I wanted it to give. Like, I wanted it to give like more of a found family vibe, and I didn't really get that. So, but I did like Nettie Korfor's writing in terms of like her imagination and stuff. So I feel like I'm still gonna read other stuff by her, but I'm not continuing that series. Next we have Angel Fall, which I somehow ended up finishing this and giving it a 4-star rating. This really should be a 3-star. And that, to me, that was kind of generous. Like, I know this was really popular when it came out, but this just did not. For me, this was really missing a lot of world building aspects, and it was very focused on the romance, and I finished it though. I did finish it really pretty quickly, and I mean, you're just thrust into the world. So like, some people really like that, and I get that that's something people like. I'm not one of those people. I like a part of the joy for me with fantasy is the lore and the mythology and discovering origins of everything. Like, I love that. I love that. So, and that's completely missing from Angel Fall. Okay, next we're going to talk about these 2 together because it's just the whole trilogy. I'm going to have a whole entire review for the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which didn't used to be called the Grist trilogy. They changed it because the TV show came out, I think. But I think I gave the first book 5 stars, which I don't know. Like, I'm so curious if I was to reread it, if I would still feel that way, because knowing what I know comes next, I felt like this weird, like I was excited about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this, because I read it before the show came out, but I knew the show was gonna come out, so I was like, this is so exciting, I can't wait to get to see this on screen, and da-da-da-da. And I loved the first book, and then the second book was like fine, and then the third book just no. Like, the third book was so disappointing, and not that I wanted certain characters to end up together. I just thought that we could have done something way more interesting with the dynamic instead of just ending it how it ended. And yeah. Okay, and then we have this book that is many of the girlies' personal favorite book of all time. And I know why. I know why you love it. And I don't blame you for loving it. I gave it a 4-star rating. And I liked the first book. Actually, okay, here's the thing. Akatar, the first book, I enjoyed the plot more than the characters. But then here I enjoyed the characters more than the plot. and I felt like we were kind of getting lost in the sauce here, and we really don't get any plot until like the last part of this book, which was kind of similar to how Akatar was, but I was still enjoying the first 2/3 of Akatar compared to this. And this was, I think this should have been more of a 3.5 for me personally, because I don't know, and I'm hoping that book 3 of this series is going to give me what I want in plot and characters and be a worthwhile conclusion, because I am interested in exploring all of Sarah J Maas's books. But if I end up reading A Court of Wings and Ruin and so many people think that this is her peak, they think this is her best book, and for me this was like a 3.5, I'm a little worried for myself. But maybe because I rated this lower than everybody else, like, I will have the unpopular opinion that Wings and Ruin is better. I don't know. And I was looking at Read with Cindy's review of it, and she like actually said she had fun with the third book, and there's something about a game monologue. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna enjoy the third book more. Not sure, but that's that one. Okay, I have a lot. I'm sorry. This is why it's so rare to get a 5-star for me, because I feel like even my 4 stars, I'm like, no, it could have been lower. It really could have been lower. And I mean, we all have like our specific tastes and what we want, right? So so next I'm gonna talk about A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which is a book that has all of the steampunk, female-female relationship, and just like fantasy, and it had like historical type of influences on it and stuff, and I just didn't connect with it in the way that I liked that much. And similar to this, I also read Ring Shot, which I think I gave a 4-star rating to also, but I really think that was more of a 3-star. And I thought I was gonna love P.J. Clark because I read the first book that comes before A Dead Djinn in Cairo. There's just unfortunately something about his writing that I just don't click with, and I've done all 3. I've read 3 of them now, because I read Ring Shout, Dead Djinn in Cairo, and whatever the first novella is, which it might be called that, I don't know. I can never remember the right name for it. But let's shift finally to a different author, and that is Emily Henry, who so many people are obsessed with her books. And it's usually people who aren't big into romance. Like, they usually don't love romance that much. They only read a couple romances every now and then, which is me. Like, that is also me. However, I'm starting to get more into romance, and I feel like I'm much more interested in like these indie published romances and these dual POV romances, and romance that does have a decent amount of smut. Like, I like the smut. I mean, it just seems like the authors who write a lot of smut are also doing character development in ways I'm enjoying, like Tessa Bailey and Talia Hibbert are the 2 that come to mind. And I feel like they write romance in a different way than Emily Henry, and I feel like Emily Henry just does not focus on what I want when I read a romance. Like, I just don't think that it feels as emotional as I want it to feel. I feel like it feels much more like, I don't know, like general fiction is what a lot of people are saying, or women's fiction, or whatever. And I don't know. Like, I liked Beach Read and I liked People Who Make It. I liked them both, which I feel like most people prefer one or the other. And I honestly could not say that I preferred one over the other. I feel like I liked them both enough, but it was like what I read from those 2 books was enough that I didn't feel the need to read any further. I didn't feel the need to read any more. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, now I have to read every single book that she comes out with, because it was so great. And I mean, it's pretty rare that it's happened to me with, it's happened one time. It's happened with this lady and Libba Bray, possibly. But I just don't think that I will ever be a person who wants to read every single book that any romance author has written. I'm only really interested in like certain authors' really popular series that they have. So Emily Henry's she's not giving what she's giving most of the girlies for me. And that's that. So now that, please let me know if you agree with any of these, if you also think that you rated them too high, or you think that all of these deserve the hype that they get, or just please feel free to share your thoughts with me in the comments down below. But I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter all down there for you to check out in the description if you'd like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.